Hi everyone, my name is Alberta and welcome to the 6th episode of the Get Hitched live chat show. Today we're going to be talking about videography in weddings in Malta Gozo. Our special guest is Jonathan Mercieca, who runs his business called Joni Videography. And I'm also going to introduce for you guys my co-host Rosie, who works with me at Get Hitched. I hope you guys enjoy the show. I'm just going to invite them in. Hi guys.
Hello,
Hi.
good morning.
Hi,
morning.
good morning. How are you
How are
both?
you? Okay.
The sun is shining.
Oh,
I'm good
yes.
today.
We have beautiful weather outside.
Yes, amazing. Still a
Cool.
bit.
It's slowly changing. It's slowly changing. So, John, thank you very much for being with us today. We're excited
Well,
about this show.
welcome and thanks for the invite and the opportunity.
Cool. So for our viewers to know, I've known Jonathan since about 2017, but maybe John, you want to introduce yourself a bit for our viewers, telling them who you are, what you do, a bit of a background.
Of course, I am a videographer. Although we speak about wedding videography here, I don't do only weddings, although weddings are the majority of my work, or at least this year was meant to be the majority of my work for everything. But anyway, um, I also do corporate stuff. I do TV documentaries on the national television station. I do commercials, events. Basically, I do any kind of video. Rather, I don't do drama and music
Okay.
videos, but anything else in between, conferences, and I do it. Sometimes I
Cool.
even get to do videos for families, family holidays.
Oh, really? Okay. People
Yes,
coming here to Malta and they get you to do a
or,
video.
or sometimes even people give me their holiday videos and I edit it for them.
Okay.
You know,
Very cool. Ah, that's actually,
sometimes,
I've never thought of that. That's quite cool.
sometimes even they give me every year they give me the videos of their kids and I do a year by year. There are a
I
lot of
love
ideas
that.
out there. You'll be impressed how many people think about videos these days.
Going to the point, I mean, you mentioned, at the moment we know all the weddings are being postponed. I mean, how has it affected you? Are the weddings have been postponed to the end of this year? Is it everything for next year? Have you had cancellations? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, so far, yes, about I think 10 or 12 weddings have been postponed. I even had some weddings getting cancelled.
okay,
Most of them, so far, they did a tentative date for later on this year, but I have even couples in December thinking for a tentative date for next year. So there's a wide spectrum of reaction. You know, I have
okay.
couples in end of July that they didn't decide yet because they're waiting for. So
We're all
different
unclear, really.
different characters really coming out even as well. But
Yes,
we wait and see. But of course, yeah, I mean, a lot of postponements this year, which on the other hand is giving me time to catch up with some work, doing some office refurbishment, refurbishing the website, the Facebook page, and all the
getting
other things
everything up
that
to date, right?
yes, and because sometimes we don't get much time to do those things, especially myself being a full-time self-employed and jack of all trades.
Of course. Very good. Thank you for that. Straight away, we have a few people telling us hi. I'm just going to put them up for you to see. We have Ali Redstone who told us hello, guys. Hi, Ali.
Hi, Ali.
And we have Joe Royal who's told us morning. So good morning to you, Joe.
Good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
So, guys, I want to go in straight into the first question that we have for you today, with regards to videography in weddings. But what does it really entail to be a videographer in a wedding, John?
A lot of work, a lot of work. Of course, a lot of work on the day, but work starts from the moment I receive a phone call, a request. That's from where the videography starts in a sense, because there's a lot of preparation. But if we speak about the day, a videographer has to be very quick, very flexible, sometimes even physically, because you get to be in situations where you have to go down, go up, twist, turn.
Get the best shot, basically, of that
Yes,
moment.
exactly. Sometimes even you have to avoid other people to get your own shots, so you have to be spontaneous with decisions, but taking good decisions, because sometimes you're in a situation when you are seeing two things which you want to capture at the same time, and you have to decide which one of them is the most important for the couple, for the story. An eye for detail, for sure.
Okay,
But,
and do you plan it beforehand with them? Like, do you ask them so that you have an understanding of the different what's going to be happening basically on the day?
yeah, when we meet, my first aim is to get to know the couple themselves and their story, but of course, more specific, what they want to achieve with filming on the day and with the final product of the video. So the more I get to know before, it helps me on the day not to lose any detail, but myself, have to be aware of what is happening around me, not to miss any other surprises, any other details that the couple forgot to tell me about, for example, or anything that happens on the day, because it's a live show, really.
Definitely. And so basically, like, if a wedding is starting at 4 p.m., I think the average typical Maltese wedding in Malta starts between 4 or 5 p.m. But does that mean that you start at 4 or 5 p.m. or
You mean the ceremony starts at 4?
exactly? So you're there, I'm imagining, hours before even preparing.
So if the couple choose to start with ceremony filming and no preparation before, usually I'm there around an hour and a half before to film the empty venue. Sometimes even the church opening, the door, the man taking care of the carpets, putting it in place, and I try to capture the arrivals of the groom and the first guests before the bride, But if they opt to have preparation, especially if both groom and bride, then I start about 3 hours before the ceremony time. 3 hours before, I'll be at the groom, and then I go to the bride, and then the ceremony and the reception.
And that's just without traffic, I mean, because if they're in a Slima area, I'm sure you have to add an extra hour on traffic.
Sometimes it's around Malta day job. You get to go to the north to film the groom, to the south to film the bride, and then somewhere in the center to film ceremony. Sometimes it's driving is a headache, especially until I get to the ceremony. It's a very tense moment because you have to be very punctual. Sometimes, of course, it's an issue of traffic and parking, although most of the times couples do take care of providing, if possible, reserved parking at both ceremony and reception, and that's very, very helpful when they do it. Very, very. I do ask for it during meetings if it's possible. I can't fly.
That's a very good point. I mean, I would have not have thought of that, just reserving the parking spaces for on the day, so as much as possible. Because if you live in a slim area, let's be honest, I mean, parking is already a problem all over Malta. I think it's one of the best things I've ever heard of, to be honest, for the wedding.
Yes, and it's more important is for the equipment, because although we try to travel as lightweight and with equipment, but it's still a hassle, having to rush into the ceremony with the equipment, finding parking.
Of course, you have to pay attention, be careful, set up, make sure you haven't missed anything.
Yes, and there might already be other variables which will, delay things. I don't want to be one of those variables,
Yes.
to delay.
So very good. All right, thank you very much for that, John. I'm going to put up, we actually have a few more comments. We have a Jessie. She's told us hello. So hi, Jessie.
This is my friend from Wales.
Oh, super cool. So hi, Jessie.
Hi, Jess.
We have Ben. He told us hi as well. Hi, Ben. Thank you.
Hi, Ben.
And actually, we have a question here already from Ali. He asked, what is your particular style of videography, which actually blends in, Rosie, with the question that we were going to put up.
Okay.
So the next question is regarding the different wedding videography styles you do.
Okay.
So if you like to tell us a bit more.
Yes. I want to speak a bit general at first, because I want to clarify something here, because I want to spend some time on this because it's very important. There's traditionally the documentary wedding style.
Okay.
If we watch our parents' wedding videos like 30 years ago, all of them are documentary, so traditional, so long and boring sometimes. But it doesn't mean that documentary wedding videos doesn't happen today. I do documentary wedding videos, but modernized, So first and foremost, it's the quality of the equipment, the quality of the picture, the quality of the sound. But more than that, I try not to make it long when couples ask for a documentary wedding filming. It doesn't mean that it has to be like an hour and a half. When I started doing weddings around 16 years ago, I used to work with a company at that time. That's how it was till 15 years ago, And but things have so much changed, even because of technology changed.
Okay.
And couples ask for cinematic videos nowadays, and I want to clarify this because there are many opinions and many couples and vendors seem to see it from a different perspective. And there are two cinematic, first and foremost, is a very technical word. I mean, we do videos, we don't do film or for cinemas, but we give the wedding video that cinematic look by the equipment we use during filming and by the editing tools we use during post-production. So it's a very technical job. When a couple asks for a cinematic video, it's a very technical job.
Okay.
And that is what I do nowadays, but it doesn't mean that a documentary video can't be cinematic in that sense, because cinematic, if we take it from a technical perspective, I do film cinematic every day, in every job really, because that's a very, but when couples ask for cinematic video, most of the time they mean, I don't want like a long boring video. I want a short story. I want to come up with a message, couples have a vision of what they want. Sometimes they have a theme for their wedding.
Okay.
So when a couple asks me to do a cinematic video, first and foremost, I don't say, yes, I can do it. But I ask them, what is your opinion about cinematic? What do you want to achieve? Is it just the quality of sound and picture? Or is it the video style you want at the end? Because it's most of the time I do documentary in that sense, because you film everything in order and you edit everything in order. But but there's another way about it. You can create a story, and that is something which I can't do alone most of the time, because the couple has to we have to plan it much more.
Yes,
You
because you
know,
have to be there even beforehand if you're creating the story, so you can capture all the different moments in more detail. But from what I'm understanding, the difference between documentary and cinematic is mainly the quality.
not really, because if they want whatever type of video they want at the end, it's the same equipment.
Okay.
So technically, they are getting the same
Same
quality,
quality.
you know. But when they want cinematic, most of the times they want, like, you know, some video effects, some slow motion, you know, to enhance
Okay.
the story.
All right.
Others
Okay.
are more traditional, although there are few. I do get few requests of traditional in this sense. But most couples nowadays want, you know, they want a fresh looking video. They want to watch the video more than once, and they want to keep watching the video, you know, and that's why I asked, when you come to the meeting, the couples ask for the duration of the video, and this is another thing. Nowadays, couples, they don't want long, you know, videos, never ending. And that's my style, because I come from the background of television, and it's a very quick, you know. You have to, in few seconds, you have to understand what's happening. You don't need to long shots of, you know, the church facades. I mean, if a detail is enough to get to know which church it is, you know. You don't need to see everything in detail, but
Stay in alert and catching the special moments.
I hope I'm being clear about this, because it's clear in my mind, but it's difficult sometimes to explain it even to couples, because their vision is totally different. So that's why we discuss it, this thing, not to, so couples can really be satisfied with the final product.
Exactly. I know exactly what they're going to be getting and all the different work and everything.
Yes, and it helps, because even during the filming, it's very critical, because if you don't film it, you can't create it afterwards. So it's important to plan it before, because on the day you have the videographer has to film with that vision in mind of what the couple wants to achieve at the end, because you can't create things after. You know,
Yes.
they have to be filmed on the day, you know.
Yes. Okay. I hope we've answered your question, Ali. We have a few more questions here, actually. We have Joe Royal here,
Okay.
who mentioned, so are you happy to adapt to your clients' styles? Say they want an upbeat, funky style.
Yes. In fact, that's what I said in the beginning. First thing first is getting to know the couple and what they want.
What they want.
Although
And every
I have,
couple is going to be different with different
yes.
what they're imagining.
Although I have like a way of how to go about it, you know, sometimes there's like there's a basic structure of a wedding, you know, but different couples have different stories, different attitudes, different characters. So it's important to get to know the couple. And I am very happy to adapt, because I don't, sometimes I get told to, why don't you have a template, and, you know, even have a list of music, and I don't do that.
Pre-made.
I come from a background of television, and every video, when I do edit a video, it's like editing a television show, because many people are going to watch it, you know. That's the attitude I put into it, you know, and I don't want every wedding video to look the same, you know, because couples are different and therefore different videos.
Yes.
So I am very, very happy to adapt to any style they want.
Amazing. Okay, thank you very much.
Unless it involves bungee jumping, which I won't do.
Noted. We have another question here from Ben. Is one photographer and one videographer enough for a typical Maltese wedding size, or do you need a larger team? Which is actually a fair point.
Yes. Myself, I work solo most of the time, and most occasions it's one videographer and one photographer. And I think it is more than enough. And sometimes couples ask for multiple videographers and photographers. And that as well, I discuss it because I want to make them aware of the technicalities behind that, because sometimes it's double work, and it doesn't give you additional really. So for example, sometimes they decide to do 2 photographers and 2 videographers, and then they choose a small chapel, which doesn't even fit the guests, It doesn't make sense to have multiple videographers and photographers in that sense. If it's a big venue, if the number of guests exceed, let's say, 500 people, you might be considering, but a normal wedding, say up to 300, 400 people, 1 photographer, videographer is more than enough, in my opinion. But if the couple requests it, I'm happy to do it as well. I do collaborate with many photographers and videographers. From experience, many couples leave the decision to do a video, the last decision most probably. And because when couples come to me, usually they have the photographer set. Usually they decide on the photographer first, and the wedding planner, and then sometimes they even book me a month before, depending on if they have enough budget to include it. And that's fine for me as well.
Cool. Okay. I just want to say thank you to our viewers, and we're getting quite a few questions, John, for you. In fact, we have another question here from Ali Redstone again. Do you use drones?
Okay. I have a drone as part of my equipment, so yes, I use drone. As I explained, most of the times I work solo, so I can't film a drone and film from the ground at the same time. So what I offer couples without any extra charge to do some drone filming during the venue, where there is some free time to establish the venue, sometimes to film sunset during the wedding, with a drone. But of course, I can't commit to it because it depends on the venue. Some venues you can't do drone. And of course, depending on the weather. So that's why I offer it as no extra cost during reception, depending on the conditions of the day. But if they want additional drone footage, say coming into the ceremony, coming out, arriving at reception, then in that case, I collaborate with other drone pilots, and they offer their service at an extra charge, of course, on the day.
Very good. Okay.
And then that footage is included in the short trailer, highlights, wedding video, whatever we decide on.
Amazing. All right, cool. Thank you very much for your answers, John, so far. You've already mentioned this point, and I'm going to put up the question. Basically, collaboration with other videographers, you normally work solo, which you've already started answering.
Yes, as I mentioned, most of the times I do work solo. But here I wanted to make a point. During meetings, I tell the couples that the most vendors you spend time with on the day are the photographer, videographer, and if you have the wedding planner, organizer, whatever.
Yes, they're the 3 people that are constantly around you, basically.
Yes, that doesn't mean that we're in your face all the time.
Yes.
Because, myself and the photographer, most of the time, let me speak about me, I work discreetly, Sometimes they won't even realize I'm filming them, because of where we don't come close to the couple as much as possible, unless we want to ask something or check something. Most of the time we don't speak with the couple themselves, we speak to the best man, we speak to the wedding planner, So that's important, that there's a synergy between us and the couple, and that's important to get to know the couple, because they want to be comfortable working with you, and you have to be comfortable working with them as well. And the other point is the synergy between a photographer, videographer, and the wedding planner. It has to be as much as possible teamwork. I don't mind working with anyone, but on the day I do have a small chat, so to introduce sometimes even with new photographers. And it's important not to interfere with each other and collaborate, because
Exactly.
I don't want a photographer to lose a moment because of me, and vice versa.
The other way around. Exactly.
So yes, but because the photographers and videographers are there all the day, the important point is that the couple has to be very comfortable working with them. And I see that very important, and I emphasize it.
Very good. In fact, here we have a question. I left it till we actually put this topic up. It doesn't show all in the stream.
But I can get the
I'm going
feeling.
to say it to you. How do you work seamlessly alongside photographers? Do you visit the site beforehand together to create a plan, ensuring that both of you get the shots, filming you require without getting in each other's way?
Most of the time we don't visit the site beforehand, because we know most of the sites. Unless it's a very new site for us, we don't need to visit, because we have experience working in most of the local sites and with most of the photographers. So there is a synergy, as what I said before. Sometimes we don't even speak before the wedding day, because we know each other. We work with each other regularly, even in other projects, not just weddings. So there's a collaboration. There's sometimes even friendship. So we don't visit most of the, unless the couple are planning some great surprise or some great fireworks show, which we need to know what's exactly. In those particular occasions, we do visit, yes. But if it's an enormous schedule, we don't.
In fact, I see slowly sort of coming in where even we had a choreographer with us on our last show. Like you need to know beforehand, say if they're doing a choreography, perhaps a dance with the whole group, all the bridesmaids and everything.
Yes, and that's another thing I do ask during meetings, if they have a choreographed first dance, a choreographed group dance. And for example, last year I had a couple, both of them were dancers, so of course they had a particular first dance. And what they did, they sent me a video of the dance.
Okay.
So that would be more than enough. I mean,
okay.
I just need to see the positions rather. But
Very
I
good.
don't have any problem to meet them before and see them dancing.
Okay, because in fact we have Jean-Claude Demek. Hi, Jean-Claude. He was actually on the show with us last Friday on episode 5.
Hi,
he's a choreographer. And he asked, do you consider essential or an added bonus liaising with the third party's ex-wedding dance choreographer to capture the moment which has a lot of movement?
Yes, and one of the things I ask couples, if there are things that I need to get to know about, and the more detail I have before and the more information, the better we can achieve that story which they want finally. So, to be honest, I never had an occasion to work with a choreographer, but of course, I'm willing to do anything that helps helps the couple achieve what they want, really. So more collaboration it will show in the final product for sure.
Yes.
The more collaboration, the more information, the more detail, the better.
Very good. I hope then both you and Jan meet at some point on a wedding.
Yes, nice to meet you, Jan. Yes, let's speak. Let's dance.
We are slowly, I mean, we're already in 30 minutes. Wow. So I'm going to go into the next question. Yes. I've just put it up.
So the next question, Johnny, for you is, how do you choose the music for the wedding video?
Okay. What I do, I can reply shortly about this, because what I do is, before I We can discuss music even during the first production meeting, but what I do before I get to edit anything for the couple, be it the short highlights or the full wedding video, I ask them to send me any song music requests they want. Sometimes they are particular and they have particular songs which reminds them of their first date or whatever. So I use it. And sometimes couples don't have any preference and they leave it up to me to decide what kind of music to use. But of course, whatever, we have to stick with the vision planned. So the music, of course, enhances the vision. But here I want to make a point. As a general rule, I try not to include as much music as possible, especially during the dancing. And I try to keep the ambient because that is the benefit of video on photo. The photo doesn't give you the sound, the atmosphere, the feeling. So as much as possible, I don't kill the feeling with background music. If I'm seeing people dancing, I want to hear what they are dancing in reality to, not some
because that
other...
is the actual memory.
Yeah.
Yes, and you want to hear people laughing, people screaming, people shouting, people, having fun, and that is the responsibility we guys have, because we create a memory. We want to, replicate the day for many years.
Exactly. In fact, I'm going to put this question up. You have sort of answered it. It just came in from Joe again, where he said, do you choose different music for each wedding video you shoot?
Yes.
I have seen some videographers use the same few tunes all season on different couples.
Yes, if Joe was hearing me before, I said I don't have any template. I don't have any template for editing, or templates for playlists or music. So yes, music is something I discuss with couples, and
you let them choose whatever they want, even if the song you've heard it 100 different times already.
Even if I don't like the song sometimes. It's
keep the client happy.
Do you have couples that they've seen maybe one video you've done and say, that's exactly what I want my wedding like?
Yes, and that's the benefit of the wedding highlights, because they tell me sometimes, even the highlights themselves, I don't use the same song. So I want this kind of music. I want this kind of style. I want this kind of filming,
Very good. I'm actually going to put up another question here from Jessie. How long does it usually take to put a wedding video together?
Okay. The first thing I said, video is a lot of work. So it's a lot of work filming and a lot of work editing. And putting a video together takes some time, of course. Myself being not a full-time, as in I do wedding videography as a main job, but due to other projects and other commitments, sometimes even tenders, there, and sometimes other tight deadlines, I can't really mention an exact time when I will deliver, because it is very seasonal. Our job is very seasonal. So, but everything will be, even when a couple book, they will have the terms and conditions, and this is another point which is listed there, and they will know they will know everything. They will know all my procedure. They will know when they will get the highlights, the wedding video.
Exactly. I don't think it's good to put like a focused time, because at the end of the day, you do want to give them the best finish that you want to offer. So having a bit of time to play around and actually get the best finished product you can offer would be beneficial for everyone at the end of the day.
Yes, and of course, once I finish a video, I send it to the couple. sometimes they come back with amendments. They have the ability, the freedom to change anything really. So it's difficult to commit, but it's because it's a hard work, and this is something we for videographers wish that couples appreciate, that video is work. And most of the times I had couples receiving the video, say, few months after, which they actually like it because, the wedding vibe would have calmed down and they would have settled in their houses. They come back from their honeymoon and then it starts getting the time to see the video. If you see the video like in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks time, it's you want to relive the moment.
Exactly.
when you forget it, not when you are still in it,
Exactly. Amazing. I am going to move on to the next question, guys, because we're already 36 minutes in. And normally the shows are 30 to 40 minutes. So the next question I did want to ask you is with regards to key moments. Like, what are the key moments that you want to cover in the wedding video?
Of course, the vows for me are the key moment of the wedding all throughout. But for different couples, there are different key moments, And but the key moments which we will be needing information about, let's say during the reception, would be the first dance, the cutting of the cake. Those are key moments, but in reality, the whole wedding is a key moment for us. We have to capture each and every moment as best as we can. And but couples can have other key moments, and that is something like, for example, during a meeting, I ask the couple if they have any surprises planned, if they have any VIPs attending, because and here I have a story to say.
Tell us.
One couple about 2 or 3 years ago, the bride came to my office with a huge list of surprises, a huge list of things, and which were in the normal, let's say, But she forgot to mention something. I was having a break during the reception. I was having a drink outside. At one point, I see police cars arriving and the president of Malta coming out of the car. And I didn't have the camera with me. I didn't know about that moment. And I had to leave the drink there, rush in, get the camera and capture it. So that is the amount of detail we would like, even because couples sometimes they come after the wedding and after I deliver the video and they tell me I didn't see that guy, I didn't see, it's impossible to film and get everyone the video. But if there are particular people, like even grandparents, they don't need to be VIP. If you want to capture them, you have to let me know what they are, because if not the couple, the best man or wedding planner, somehow someone has to tell me. I don't know the family. I know the couple.
Important question to ask the couple.
Yeah.
Yes, and you'll be surprised by their surprises.
Yeah.
Very
So for all our viewers, if you do have a videographer booked or you're planning your wedding and you're looking to get a videographer, do make a list and note down all the different events that you want John to capture for you. So he'll be sure to actually get it, and he has to not be on his 5-minute break.
There's another story. Once I went to when I go to the bride and groom, most of the time I follow the GPS, and I was going to this bride and the GPS told me you arrived, and there at that point I saw a reserved parking, and I said this should be the place, and I parked, and a woman came out and she said that's the reserved parking, and then I told her I'm the videographer. She said okay, come in. I went in and immediately I felt something was awkward because everyone vanished and they left me in the sitting room with the page boy. And I started
Okay.
speaking with the page boy. And I told him, what are you holding in your hands? And, you know, they had the heart or with the names of the couple. It was like, here comes uncle or whatever name. And I said, that's not the name of the couple. This
Oops.
must be the wrong place.
Oh,
And I told the page
wrong.
boy, it was the wrong bride actually. I told the page boy, what's the name of the bride? And he went inside and someone else came out. She was the wrong bride. And what happened was that in the same block of flats, two brides
Two people were getting married.
were,
Oh.
and I went into the wrong flat. And the same thing actually happened to the photographer and the florist as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But that was very
So flat
intimidating.
number is very important, guys,
So
as well.
every detail is important, you know, every detail.
Amazing. I have put up the next question. And then we'll get to the comments after because we have quite a few other questions from people.
Okay.
So the next question is regarding videography services. Maybe you can give us a breakdown as well of the prices, different packages.
Okay.
You know, we want people to understand exactly because from a back end, us working at Get Hitched, we understand and we see the amount of work that each different service provider puts in. But perhaps a person that has just started and, you know, they're planning their wedding, they wouldn't really fully understand why is the cost X amount because there's X amount of work realistically in the back end. It's not just grabbing a camera and going on the day and, you know, I'm there, right?
Yeah, of course, videography is a business. And as a business, we do invest in a lot of equipment. We keep up with technology. Myself, I rent an office space, which I have to pay monthly. So there's a lot of expenses involved. But keeping that aside, the cost depends mainly on the amount of hours I spent on the day. And it depends whether I get to do groom preparation, bride preparation, ceremony, and reception, of course, most of the time we do. So couples get to have to choose to make up really their own wedding videography package because I give them the different options and they can add and remove different options as they wish.
Okay.
So I do get most of the time, of course, ceremony and venue are filmed. And sometimes they add the bride and sometimes they add both bride and groom. And sometimes they even add filming on other days, like pre-wedding or post-wedding, or even some videography in between ceremony and reception in another venue, in another location. But so the couple will get a breakdown of the amount of hours, and they will know how much they are going to be spending for that time that I'll be there. Of course, the amount will include the short highlights video, which will be around 2 to 3 minutes, and the full wedding video, which will vary between usually 45 to 60 minutes. But then again, I discuss all these details. If the couple wants like a 15-minute video, you know, that's we discuss all the options and all the different prices. And of course, there are the add-ons then. If you are going to add on a drone pilot, for example, if you're going to add on another videographer, if you're going to add on filming an after party, for example, or filming another day, as I said. So the couple there are a lot of options and the couple can choose sometimes. So let's say, for example, destination weddings. It happens most of the time. Destination weddings, sometimes I even go for an hour, you know, to just get the ceremony and the cake. So if the important thing, many couples sometimes are not sure whether to have a video, and that saddens me in the sense because you're not going to have any kind of memory, any audio-visual memory, and that saddens me. at least film the key moments only. And that's another option. Even if you just want to film the wedding vows, for example, at least, and even if you don't contract a videographer, make sure that some key moments are filmed, because it's a
You will
pity.
appreciate them after a year, after 5 years later, 10 years later. That's what you're going to be looking at the
Yes,
end of the day.
it might sound as an extra cost, videography sometimes, but it's an investment in reality, because it is really the only thing that will remain after the wedding day. And
All that work.
yes, I mean, sometimes couples spend 2 years planning a wedding, and then
Yes.
the wedding day arrives, and that's it. You have some photos, and that's it.
With regards to services, John, we have Ben. He asked, has shooting in 4K become a standard nowadays?
For me, yes.
Okay.
I film everything 4K, not just weddings. Every day I film 4K. I forgot
Okay.
about HD.
Very good. I am going to go through some more comments for you. We have Joe. He put a heart icon and said, good guy. So
Okay, thank you, Joe.
thank you very much, Joe. We have Ali. He asked, what is the average time you take to do the edit, and do the couple get a little teaser while they wait in anticipation?
Yes, so first of all, what we do work first is the wedding highlights.
Okay.
So the first product they get is the wedding highlights, and that of course is quicker than the wedding video. So they will get the teaser
Very
first.
good.
And so at least they will have something to watch as soon as
And even
possible.
be excited about. Exactly. You're sort of breaking that excitement slightly. They have that, and then you can work on the full finished product. We actually have Joe as well. He asked very similar. Do you send a teaser to the couple to share the week after the event?
I don't commit to that, but because it depends on the amount of depends on my schedule really. But I try to deliver the teaser within a month at least.
Tayyip. Very good. Thank you for that. Ali also asked, so here it is. Do you film the bride getting ready if requested?
Yes, of course. We mentioned this. But I need the right address, you know? I don't need to...
Very important. Right flat number, guys.
Right flat numbers.
We have a lot of comments coming in from Ali and Joe. This is super. Thank you, guys. In fact, Joe asked, what's been the most interesting or weirdest wedding you have ever filmed?
I prefer not to answer. Because I don't
we want to hear the weirdest one.
The weirdest one.
Or perhaps a funny moment, or
you know, I'm sometimes I'm entertained during weddings, to be honest, because couples come up with so much ideas. Like, for example, a bride deciding to sing for the groom, and she's not a singer.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes it's weird. I've seen weird wedding cakes, for example, and I stop there because I can't reveal any couples.
Okay.
I've seen weird bride cars.
Really? Okay.
Like long, huge limousines, and impossible to to get them to the venue, but somehow they manage.
Has there been requests from couples which you've said for sure, no, I'm not going to do that? Obviously, you got to.
No, I am very adventurous. As I said, I don't do bungee jumping, but the rest I can do. For example, nowadays, especially during civil weddings, it's getting very popular to involve animals, dogs.
Okay.
I've had dogs being a ring bearer with the rings So there are,
Super, amazing.
and that's what I like about weddings, because they're not the same.
You're always
And
going to have a different couple.
that's what I like about my job. I try to keep my job varied, and that's why I don't do weddings only as well. But different.
I can understand that, and actually, I do here. I mean, I meet suppliers that they tell me, yes, I work on weddings alone, and I love it. And then I meet suppliers that they do need a change up, because that way you're always most to be creative and see different things, and you're always learning at the end of the day from each
Yes.
different event or job you are working. I mean, there's always something new to learn. I want to
And
go.
I want to add an important point, because
Yes.
I don't want, because some couples, of course, come with no ideas or with few ideas, and that's not a problem, because we can build up the story together. It does. I don't want. I want to clarify that I'm not here waiting for the couples to come with their own ideas and adapt to them, of course. But I'm here even to help couples creating a story. So even if they don't have any ideas, we can do it together.
Very good. In fact, we have Joe that just mentioned, in my experience, not any. I leave the guys to do their job unless I spot something suddenly and they are not there. Um,
Thank you, Joe.
I have another question here from Ben for you. How much influence does the wedding planner or the organizer have in the direction of the filming on the day, if they have any?
Not much, really. First of all, it depends if I am booked via a wedding planner. So if my first contact is the wedding planner, then I have to liaise more with the wedding planner. But if my first contact is the couple, most of the time I speak to the couple directly and we plan things together. But the wedding planner is important for us, because when they are absent, when they don't have wedding planners, we'll have to liaise more with the couple, unfortunately, on the day. And we try to not to communicate much on the day with the couple, because we want them to enjoy the day, And of course, a wedding planner will guide us, will even help us if there are something happening which I might have missed, or something happening in another area of the hall and I'm somewhere else, for example. So it's important. Wedding planners are very important for us, because they help us themselves and guide
Yes.
us during the day.
I'm a strong believer of having a wedding planner even just on the day, because sometimes I see different
Even
couples, they're still questioning it, but just to have that person there helping you. So realistically, you see wedding planners giving something to drink to the actual bride and groom, not just introducing, keeping the time short. So they're giving a certain flow and helping the other suppliers get everything happening the right way. At the end of the day, we want the bride and groom to actually enjoy the day and not be worried
Yes.
about every little detail, right?
And that's an important point. At the end of a meeting, I tell the couple, make sure to enjoy the day. A wedding, I mean, time flies. We know time flies, but
Yes.
a wedding vanishes in that sense. I mean, it's when I go to the groom and the bride before, there is a lot of tension sometimes, a lot of
Nerves.
but and the nerves, and the time is like very, very slow. But once you get to the ceremony, and especially at reception, time flies. So it's important to enjoy each and every moment,
Yes.
to trust all the vendors,
Yes.
They are all experienced vendors. They know what they're doing. And sometimes brides, especially, they tend to keep looking out for all the details that have been discussed before. And that's why
Yes.
wedding planners are there. Wedding planners are there to take care that all the details are being taken care of. Brides need to enjoy the day, especially brides. I emphasize this, because time flies.
And you can't really control it then on the day. You just have to
Yes.
go with the flow and everything. And
You
like we
don't have
say,
to look at the photographer and videographer where they are. They will give
Exactly.
you the photos and the videos, and you will see them after.
Exactly. When we say time does really run out, it really, really does, John, because we are, I think, at 55 minutes in now. I do want to, because we have lots and lots of comments, guys. Thank you so much. We have Joe, he
You
put
can
a
reply
link
after if they
for
want.
us. Yes, definitely. Then we will go through them. But Jonathan at Sop Party France told you a great story, Jonathan, probably about the bride singing. And Joe came in and said, oops. We had
There
Ali
are more.
also pass a comment.
The oops
Do
was
you
when you
feel
arrived at the wrong apartment.
Not my fault. Not my fault.
we have Ali who also passed a comment. Do you film the honeymoon night also? Wink.
We can speak that in private.
No, there's a lot of
At an
laughing
extra
comments.
charge.
If they pay for it, I can do it, perhaps, as long as it's decent.
Yes. We actually have Ben asked a very good question here. What's the
Okay.
usual deposit percent a person pays?
Yes, different videographers, of course, they have different terms of payment. I have my own, and they will be written in the terms and conditions. But most of the time, it's 20 to 30%,
Okay. Very good.
and the rest of the payment would be half of it on the day, and the final payment would be on the video delivery.
Very
So
good.
they don't need to worry much about having the money before the wedding, because the final amount would be settled when the video delivery
It's done.
is
Very
done
good.
after the wedding.
Very good. Ali passed a comment on, it was quite a bit ago now. I suppose you can't reveal too much as your work is in such a small pond in Malta. And yes, probably when we asked you about a funny story.
Everybody knows
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ellie can contact me after if she wants, and I can mention loads of other stories if she's
Very
interested.
good. Very good. There you go, Ali. So you're going to have contact later with John. We have Joe who said, as a planner, I tend to look after the other suppliers, especially the videographers, and get them drinks, which I think is actually a very good, important point. I mean, you want your suppliers to stay hydrated so they
What
can
I
actually stay to the end.
what I normally I take a good breakfast before a wedding to sustain me during the first part, at least during the first hassles of driving. But once we get to reception, sometimes we're hungry and thirsty. Yeah, so that would be very well appreciated.
Very good. So it's not just the bride and groom that the wedding planner will take care of, but also the suppliers, making sure everyone is fit to
Yes, I
do
mean
the
it's an
show.
important point, especially for destination weddings and small weddings. Sometimes they forget us.
Very good.
We need energy.
Very good. In fact, he said, of course, I look after the couple too, but I have to ensure my suppliers are happy and well fed and have drinks. Amazing, Joe.
Let's work together,
Very
Joe.
good, Joe.
And then I just put this on alcohol after the event.
Usually after the event, I'm exhausted with a back pain and I go straight to bed. But alcohol the day after, if needs be.
Good. I am going to go into the last question we have for you, John, with regards to frequently asked questions. I mean, what are the most questions that people come to you with?
Okay, this relates a bit about the documentary because couples ask about video lights. Do we use, because traditionally, there used to be big cameras with huge video lights. So sometimes they are concerned because it's intimidating for them, especially if the videographer tends to go close. So that's why I said I work very discreetly, and in that sense, I don't use video lights. I use the ambient light of the place. But of course, if it's a dark room, then the video is going to be dark.
Yes.
So it's important to have adequate lighting in the venues, especially in outdoor venues.
Okay, all right.
And they also ask about the duration of the video,
Okay.
the delivery of the video. They ask about, they don't ask me much because I clarify most of the things during the meeting, but these are the common questions.
Very good. It's always good to know, though, that you don't get a lot of questions. Which it means that you're explaining everything thoroughly for the person.
Yes, And even in the terms and conditions, everything is so clearly explained, even the procedure of how I work.
Very good. Amazing. All right, guys, we've answered everyone's questions. We have the last comment from Ben. Great show, guys. Super informative and fun.
I
We've
can't
already
believe.
passed an hour. I need to get back to work. Thank you, Ben. Yes, it's been a long episode. We had a lot of questions, so I'm very happy with the feedback and all the different comments and notes that people have had to say. And Joe replied with a yes also at the end. I don't know if you have any final comments, Rosie and John.
Yesterday I told you let's keep this short, and I can't believe
Yes.
we've done an hour.
I can't believe an hour
So
passed that quick.
I'm thirsty, you know. But I really enjoyed this chat, and the most thing, as I said before, couples, please enjoy your wedding, and
Super.
trust all the vendors.
Super.
I'm sure you've gave any viewers watching, couples that are due to get married, I'm sure you've gave them some very valuable information, John.
Thank you.
Super. Yes. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, John. We've really, really enjoyed having you on. I am going to tell you guys bye. I mean, that's a wrap. It's been a pleasure. Anyone who wants to get in touch with Jonathan, he has a Facebook page, Joni Videography, Joni. And Rosie and I are part of Get Hitched, guys. So I'm just going to wave you goodbye, guys. I'm going to take you out of the stream.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye. Take
See
care.
you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
There you have it, guys. It's been an amazing show. Thank you very much. I do want to let you guys continue on your day. We're having hundreds of viewers coming on, so we really appreciate all the feedback and all the love that you guys are giving us. Really, I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Take care and bye for now.